So guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're working on the 51 Fleetline project. We've only just picked this up and yeah, really looking forward to getting stuck into this one.
Doing a bit of work on it, giving it some love.
I think we'll get the camera and show you round because there's a lot of cars that's big.
There's a bit of real estate, as they say in the States, to go at, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get the other camera and show you around it. So this is the beast. We picked it up the other day, it was a Sunday. I did a short on it actually. We picked it up with the my Chevy Silverado and the plant trailer. Yeah, what a car.
It's a pretty cool thing.
The interior is slightly second hand.
Lived in. Not by maybe anything human. Door shuts and stuff are great, aren't they?
Yeah, doors all shut great.
Shut lines and stuff are all pretty good on it.
Check this out, how thick is a door on a 51 Fleetline? It's huge. Yeah, it definitely needs some work, but there is a massive amount of potential with this car. They're just not made like this anymore. How pretty is all that dashboard?
There was some care and stuff going on in the 50s that just doesn't exist in today's automotive world, does it?
No.
There isn't the time. There isn't the time to put the effort and labouring that requires to make stuff like this anymore.
So this is pre-Big Fin, but it's still sort of like the jet set era with all the wings and everything. One mean looking car. Right, Brendan, lift the bonnet up and we'll show you what's under the bonnet, or hood, or should we say, because it's American.
It's not a bonnet, it's a hood. It's a hood. I have to hold said hood because the springs are a bit
past best.
past best, yeah.
So, straight six. I think it's a 215, so is that 3.5 litre-ish, somewhere about there. When I bought it, the guy said, yeah, it runs fine. I don't know quite how, but because there's no carburetor, but he did promise me he had it running. We've put a spanner on the crank and it is so tight, it's unbelievable. It is locked solid. So maybe he did have it running, but that might have been several years ago.
Yeah. It's had a couple of sleeps since then.
So the project for this morning is, or this afternoon should we say, is see if we can get this thing just to turn, because it is so locked up. And if we can, we'll get it running. Brendan has actually this morning been swapping the headlights out. We've just chucked some old Landrover headlights in it, because these are all 6 volt. And we want to use this weekend. We're going to have an event across the road, and we want to use this for lighting. So we're going to put a battery in it, and just have the headlights lit up so everyone can see. But it should look super cool, and I guarantee some people are going to take the photos with it. Right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Right, let's find a bit of wood for a hood proper later.
A hood proper lateration,
and then, yeah, we'll get on.
We'll get on it.
Brendan's just pulled spark plugs out. He's going to get some WD or some spray oil down the bores, and I'm going to see if I can find something, metal bracket or a metal bar of some description, get on the crank pulley and see if we can get it turning.
Get it to move, that would be nice. Need a longer bar required. Ow. Yeah, felt that. That's a good way to polish your knuckles, isn't it?
Yeah. That's a fair amount of load on there then. It's not even moving a millimetre, it's absolutely solid. I'll tell you what I think we'll do. The best option here. Let's put a pan underneath, drop the radiator out, because there's 6 or 8 bolts.
Yeah.
Pull the rad out, and then we might be able to get a big socket on the end of the crank and a big bar, and see if we can really get some load on it.
Get some load on it and give it some turnage.
Yeah, the radiator's still full of coolant, so.
It is indeed full of coolant.
So yeah, if we get a pan underneath, drop that coolant, undo that, I think that's going to be the best way to go. So we've dropped the rad out and we've got a bar in through the starter handle position, and she is locked up tight. It's absolutely solid, this motor. See, the motor's rocking on its mount and no movement. It doesn't even want to budge, you know, not even a millimetre. It is absolutely solid. I think
she's tight. She's tight.
I think with this, the next thing to do is spray a load of engine oil down the bores. See if we can set up a ratchet type of system. Put a bar through there. Get a little mini ratchet strap up around the thermostat housing. Ratchet it. Put some load on it and leave it overnight.
Yeah. And see if it.
And then in the morning, if that ratchet's gone slack, it's just crept around a few degrees, and then
we might be able to turn it.
Yeah. But I think just pulling and pulling on it, we're just going to wear ourselves out and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, I concur.
Right, let's get our ratchet set up done then.
Yeah.
Brendan's determined. He said he's going to have one more go at this thing.
It can't not. It's a Chevy. You'll have to start liking Fords.
We've extended you're using a jack handle now.
Hang on.
Did that move then?
I reckon that moved. See if we can get it to. Oh, everything's falling down. Oi! Look at that. She's off.
My word, it's turning.
It's turning. It's turning. Yeah, she's definitely turning. Free as a bird.
That took some breaking off. I don't think that was going to go.
She's free as a bird. Look at that, look.
Right, let's get a battery on it and go for a drive.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go to town.
So we've got the, so Brendan's got it actually cracked off. I've just dropped a battery on it. We've got a couple of spark plugs in. We've not got them all out. We're going to just shut the starter out with that bolt.
See if she turns over under its own starter.
Ready? Well, that's pretty good.
That's nearly a runner.
Yeah, it's nearly a runner.
That's nearly a runner.
Somebody's already put a positive wire around to this coil, so if we just pull the HT lead off that, let's put a plug in the end of there, see if we've got a spark.
If we can sparkulate as well as turn the ovary, there are only some bang fluid from it firing. Not sure that just a little.
We'll just leave it like that. There's a gap in there. Should jump that.
I reckon it'll jump there. I reckon we need to close it up inside.
Right, keep your eye on that. Tell me if we've got a spark. Ready?
Yep. Oh yes. Sparking. It's like fireworks night. Guy Fawkes would be proud.
Spot on. Right, let's get this Get that shoved in there. I can't believe it's got a spark. Normally, they've got to sort the points out at least 5 times before they've got a spark.
Before they've got a spark. But no, going to get the motor running.
Right, I'm just going to go have a quick look, see if I can find some sort of carburation device, because there's nothing on there at the moment. This might be the bodgiest carburetor I've ever done.
But she runs, she runs.
So the carburetor of choice is obviously one off a 25 horsepower Mercury outboard.
Yeah.
With no float bowl, sat sideways. But the bolt pattern nearly lines up, so I can just drill them bolts out. All I really want is the throttle flap, so it doesn't just race away.
Yeah.
But yeah, yes, it's not really a carburetor of choice. But what it will give us is a throttle flap, so that we can slow this thing down, so it doesn't just race away. Just disconnect that because that coil's live all the time.
Rightio. So yeah.
I think let's just get a little bit of
banging fluid.
Yeah. Just try and see if it'll just kick off. Let's just try and see if it'll just do something. Where's the bolt of doom?
Bolt of doom's just on the table.
Yeah, don't need a lot because we don't want it actually to run. We just want to see if it'll just splutter. Just cough a tiny bit into life, not to actually rev up. Yeah, just spray a little bit in.
Coughing.
Yeah. The microphone's down there.
Oh, right in it. You didn't go in it, did it? Oh. Yeah, that was really a disaster.
That was.
In all the excitement, nearly lost the microphone to the cause. Whew.
Right, we'll go put that in the wastewater container.
Come back.
And make some flapper later work for the carburetor, and then I think pour some petrol down it and see if it'll go.
Then to town. Maybe not to town.
Right, so let's see what we can do. Trying. So guys, Brendan just had to go home. I'm just carrying on with this. What I've done, I've just confirmed the firing order because it was sneezing back through the carb and the firing order was wrong. Someone had put all the plug leads on the wrong way around. So I've just gone through it, put them all back on right, and we're going to try and see if we can get it to fire up, sort of maybe run a little bit. I've put a tie wrap through the makeshift carburetor just to hold the cracker throttle open. Right, let's see what we can get. It's running. See if I can get around there to the flying anyway. It's nearly on 6. Well, it runs, sort of. So the carburetor that I've fitted there is not to control fuel at all. It's just to control the airflow so the engine doesn't race away. Next thing we need to think about is, are we going to stick with this engine, or we're going to stick with the chassis, or we're going to do, what are we going to do with this car? I think I've got 3 really good options, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the car outside, and then in the sun tomorrow we're going to have a walk round and talk about the 3 options, and then maybe you guys can give us a little bit of input. But I think I've whittled it down. I had a load of ideas. I think I've whittled it down to 3 good options. So yeah, I'll see you in a mo. So this weekend we had a bit of an event on. The car did amazing. Everybody loved taking the photos with it. It worked really well as lighting. We had a great weekend with it. It was my friend's birthday, and yeah, it did its job. So 3 options I think for this car. When I bought this, there's no logbook with it. It's never been registered in the UK. So firstly, do we attempt to register it? I've got no Nova paperwork or anything. Just bought the car. The guy who originally bought it from an auction site. All the paperwork's there for the auction site, but there's no Nova paperwork. So registering it's going to be difficult. So sort of thought about that idea, but I don't know how the DVLA will. I don't know how it will work. Second option is to do a body swap. So to buy a car like a Jaguar XJ, which is the same, well, within half an inch of the same wheelbase. Remove the body off the XJ and rebody it with this body. I do like that idea, but I think it's an awful lot of work, and then we'll end up with a Q-plated car, because the way the registration system works in the UK, it would have to go for an SVA test, it's single vehicle application. It's complicated and there's quite a lot of work to do. So option 3 would be to put this car on a new chassis. And I have found a modern vehicle that does have a separate chassis, which is about the right dimensions. It's about 1 inch off, but it's close enough that we could use it. There was built up until about 2017, 2018, I think, and it's a London taxi, and they run a completely separate chassis, quite a heavy duty drivetrain, modern turbo diesel, which we can then swap out for any turbo diesel we want. We could go another OM606 swap, an M57, we could even put a big Cummins in it. I don't think that's a great idea, but we could put a different engine in it, ZF 8-speed maybe, auto. But we use the platform of the taxi, the running gear. We can update everything and upgrade things, but they come with quite big brakes, quite heavy duty suspension, a lot of steering locks, so it'd be good for drifting if we ever decided to do that. I can't see that, but what we can then make is a car that's modern, easy to drive, everybody can drive it. It will be right hand drive, so it's better for the UK roads. It will give us a platform that we can build from, that I can get spares for easily in the UK. I think trying to register it with the DVLA, I think it's going to open up a huge can of worms, and I think it's just going to be a big problem. And I think the unibody idea, you know, taking the outer skin off this and putting it onto something like a Jaguar, is an awful lot of work, and we still would have to go through the SVA application. That's also an awful lot of work. But if we put it on a completely new chassis that's the right dimensions, don't touch that chassis in any way, we can then keep that logbook and the identity of the original vehicle. Plus you can pick them up quite cheaply. So two bonuses there. So you guys, let me have a think. Let me know what you think is the best option. So guys, before we wrap this video up, I'm just going to quickly show you around the 110 build. It's getting really close. Just a quick 30-second look. So guys, just a quick update on the 110. The headlight and the wiring is all in that wing. The intercooler's mounted. All the intercooler pipework's done. The radiator's mounted. The inlet manifold is done. The throttle cable's done. 90% of the wiring for the engine bay is finished. Needs tidying up, but it's all connected and working. The water bottle's mounted. We have got the centre console. That's coming along nicely. gauges and bits and bobs. The dash is nearly there, all the wiring's in it and new gauges are in it. All the wiring's pulled through. This truck needs now the bonnet painting, and I think that's going to be the front end altogether. Some doors and a windscreen, and we're about there with it, I think. Right, back to the 51. This video will be out first, and then obviously that one later on in the week. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing. See you in the next one.